before it. And I want to bring this up because I kid you not, this is the first scene in the movie. It's in black and white. Who is this guy? What's going on? And you realize he's part of a torture scene. I'm going to tell you guys right now, for the lighthearted gore, killings, people, all that stuff, this movie is very violent. This movie is unfiltered, unapologetic, because it is a revenge story. And it is incredible. The director's film directing kind of, I want to say, influences that he states that are in this film is everyone from Kurosawa to Jim Jarmusch, and I am all in for it. What I also liked that this movie had was that there was no singing, no dance numbers, and it was relatively short. I think 2 hours and 2 hours and 15 minutes. So let's tell you what the story is about. A generational curse comes true in a senseless act of injustice to Pony, that's our female lead, and her family, driven to seek vengeance by Sangaya, with whom she shares a bitter past. Sangaya is the guy with the glasses that you just saw. Okay? And I'm going to give you some spoilers here, guys. I was just really, really shocked by this film. Okay, it is very brutal, and there is a gang drape scene. There's a gang drape scene that this local chieftain does upon her. And at the same time, the local chieftain and his gang, they kill her family, her husband, and her daughter by burning the house down. It's so disturbing. It's done well. It's done well. That I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then you get why she goes off on this vengeance. And it is a very kind of messy road of vengeance. She doesn't necessarily, and the gentleman that is with her is her stepbrother, whom she barely has a relationship with. Right? She barely has a relationship with, even in the entire story, doesn't even call his name. So these very complex and dark relationships of family come out. She was born out of her father being cheating on his family, and so the wife curses her as a kid, and that curse continues as she's as an adult with this vicious act of violence. Now, this movie got a lot of criticism for that violence, but this man Arun, the director, he was like, I don't want to hear it. This is what would happen, and this is the lengths that this person goes to, whether it's a man or a female or male. These characters are just explosive. I loved this gentleman. I believe this was like his acting debut, and he was the soul of the movie, almost the conscience of his sister. But even that wasn't enough, because as you can see, Saani, she was just, there's a point in the film where she just loses it. She loses all reason. And there's only one mission, is to kill the entire gang. And they all spread, because after they're acquitted, they're actually acquitted of these crimes early on. They spread out to different parts of the region. She hunts them down. So this is this good old-fashioned revenge story, told almost at times with a very disconnected lens, almost at times far away, seeing the violence, and then boom, it goes right up in your face. I had compared Captain Miller to a movie called Gangs of Wassaiper, which was like this, to me, one of the greatest gangster films I'd ever seen. In the storytelling, there's nothing glitzy about this. There's no CGI, there's no production where they're singing and dancing and smiling. I mean, because of that, I was like, who is this director? I need to know more about this director right now. Because what India is coming out with is these dynamic directors telling these unfiltered stories. And this is what I loved about this, is that it actually was a woman, because you get so many good old macho masculine superhero movies from India. This is a revenge rooted in something really awful that happened by this really incredible actress, man. She did an incredible job. And yeah, it is on Prime, so that's the good news. You can check it out. If you have a big screen, I highly recommend watching this on a really nice screen. This director knows how to make a movie. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to look at. And when I say it's beautiful, just as far as how he sets up his shots, um, his angles, even in these very uncomfortable torture scenes. Oof, man, it's almost like the first time I saw a Tarantino film. I will say this though, you never, as far as the gang drape scenes, you never see it. Okay, it's always it's the action up to that point, and then it's alluded to, well, which is why there's kind of an interesting mystery with one character who she thought was a part of it and wasn't, which I was happy that they had that moment there, with this one kind of, at the end of the day, proves to be an innocent in this whole vicious story. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. This movie. There's another film he did called Rocky. That's the one before this. I plan to see that one. That one's a little hard for me to get a hold of, but if we're going with the four bigotes, this is a 4 out of 4 bigotes. Absolutely awesome movie called Saani Kaayidham, and great revenge story, my brother.